Why is it that the people who claim to love this country and its history the most know nothing about it? This guy comes in and goes, "One nation under God. Remember, good luck." Maybe you should remember that the term under God, the words under God in our Pledge of Allegiance weren't added to that Pledge of Allegiance until the early to mid 50s in response to the Red Scare of the Soviet Union. It was about the same time that we added "In God We Trust" to our money. "In God We Trust" is not the motto of the United States of America. This is going to come as a shock to you, so you might want to sit down because it's going to sound awfully socialistic. But the actual motto of the United States of America is "E pluribus unum." Out of many, one. In other words, it takes a village kind of mentality. But back to this. Under God. As I said, it wasn't added to the Pledge of Allegiance until the 50s. You want proof? Fine. Here is famous comedian Red Skelton saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And here's a gentleman dressed up like Groucho Marx using the sound from an old Warner Brothers cartoon, and specifically the voice of Porky Pig, citing the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, while puffing your chest out and telling somebody else that they should remember, maybe you should start remembering your own country's history. Maybe you should remember that our founders, nor for generations did we have the words "under God" in our Pledge of Allegiance. I'll take it a step further. We shouldn't even be saying the Pledge of Allegiance. If you saw footage of school children in North Korea or Iran or Russia or any other dictatorial nation, right? If you saw footage from any of those nations of school children starting their day out by standing up, facing the flag of that nation, putting their hand over their heart and pledging their allegiance to that flag and that country, what would you say? If I showed you a video right now of North Korean sixth graders standing up at the beginning of their school day in their classroom, turning to the North Korean flag, placing their hand over their heart, and pledging allegiance to that flag and that country, you would say that was indoctrination. Holy shit, look what they're doing to those fucking kids. Yet we do it here. I don't want my child... let me just back this up. My child is free to do whatever the fuck they want. Some stand and salute and give the Pledge of Allegiance, put their hand over their heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Some sit down during the Pledge of Allegiance. They are free to do whatever the fuck they want. As a Gen Xer, it's so fucking ingrained in my brain that when the Pledge of Allegiance is being played, like at the beginning of a village board meeting, for example, I will stand up, I'll put my hand over my heart, or I'll put my hands behind my back, respectfully. I will quietly recite the Pledge of Allegiance and omit the words "under God." But I don't want my children to be made to pledge their allegiance to anything. That's just creepy as fuck. All right, kids, in unison, you guys are going to pledge your allegiance to a country they don't know very much about at many of those ages, right? A country that they're still learning about at those ages. They don't know if they like what that country stands for or doesn't stand for. They don't know if they believe in or disagree with what that country does or doesn't do. Yet we're making them pledge their allegiance regardless. We wouldn't tolerate it from other countries. We wouldn't say that it was just fine if we saw it coming out of Russia. You'd go, look at that, man. That's Putin. Well, not conservatives today. They would love that if it was Putin. But if it was coming out of Iran, Syria, Iraq, you guys would be like, look at that shit. But here it's fine. I say we just stop saying the Pledge of Allegiance altogether. And for those people that want to come in and go, you should always stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, do you motherfuckers stand up in your living room when the Pledge of Allegiance is being said before the Super Bowl? Or an NBA game? Or a random Cubs game on a fucking Tuesday? No, you don't. So shut the fuck up.